Cuba is often portrayed as a sun-soaked paradise, full of vibrant culture and scenic beaches. But behind the postcard image lies a different reality. From unreliable internet to food shortages, life on the island is shaped by unseen struggles. What's it like to live in Cuba? Stay with us as we uncover the hidden challenges of Cuba's everyday life. Let's start. Number 19. A country of contrasts. With more than 70% of food imported, essentials like rice and eggs can be costly and sometimes hard to find. In the year 2024, the average Cuban worker earns about $40 per month, while basic groceries often cost several dollars each, highlighting the contrast between tourist experiences and the financial difficulties locals face. Beyond economic differences, Cuba's government plays a significant role in everyday life, managing resources and shaping many aspects of the public sphere. Despite these challenges, Cubans have become experts at making the most of what they have, repairing old cars, stretching resources, and relying on strong community networks. But how do they manage to make ends meet despite such harsh contrasts? Keep watching to discover how Cubans adapt to their tough circumstances. Number 18. Ration cards. Ration cards remain an essential part of life for many Cubans. Introduced in March 1962, in the context of U.S. sanctions, these ration cards are small booklets with 20 pages, used by over 3.5 million households each month. Through this system, Cubans can purchase basic staples such as rice, milk, and bread from state-run stores at subsidized prices. Each household is allotted a set amount of items per person, with strict limits on quantities. Foreigners, however, are required to shop in regular markets and supermarkets without access to the rationing system. In the year 2019, U.S. sanctions further limited each Cuban's ability to purchase items like chicken, restricting them to one per visit. The Cuban government continues to regulate other essential goods, including meat, soap, rice, beans, eggs, and sausages, through this rationing system. What's your take on the ration system in Cuba? Would you be able to live with a ration card, or do you think it's time for change? Let us know your thoughts. But that's not the only limitation faced by Cubans. Number 17. Outdated internet access, Cuba's digital divide. In Cuba, internet access has been a slow challenge. In 2011, only 1 in 4 Cubans was online. By January 2024, around 8 million Cubans, or 73% of the population, had internet access, a significant improvement, though slightly lower than the year before. Most people connect through public Wi-Fi hotspots operated by the state telecom company, ITEXA, using prepaid NATA cards that cost about $2 per hour, making the internet a luxury for many, given average incomes of $7 to $30 per month. Speed is another issue, with mobile internet averaging 4 megabits per second and home connections slower at 2 megabits per second. Despite these limitations, around 150,000 Cubans go online daily. Government policies and the U.S. embargo restrict access to services like Apple and Google, blocking apps such as WhatsApp and Skype, although Facebook's web version remains available. Many Cubans also rely on offline alternatives such as El Paquete Semanal, a USB drive filled with TV shows, movies, and news, which is shared among friends and family. But what does it feel like to be constantly limited by technology? Keep watching to see how the internet divide affects more than just your online life. Before exploring, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just hit the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel so much. And if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. Deal? Number 16. Poor services. Cuban culture's relaxed attitude towards time deeply affects the service experience. Personal interactions often take precedence over punctuality, leading to frequent delays and long waits. Trade restrictions and economic embargoes exacerbate this by causing shortages of essentials like food and toiletries, resulting in long lines and frustration. In restaurants, service is often slow and lacking warmth, leaving visitors feeling neglected. While some tourist spots offer better service, overall rudeness is common. Have you experienced this in Cuba? Share your thoughts below. But these delays don't just stop at customer service, they extend into more critical aspects of life. Find out how this affects daily life in Cuba. Number 15. How Cuba survives on a tight budget. Havana's streets reflect the growing economic struggles, with food prices soaring. A simple meal now costs over $10, while the average monthly salary is around $60. Long lines for basics like bread and oil have become common, and inflation hit 70% in 2024. These economic changes are also affecting personal relationships, with financial stability now a key concern in romantic dynamics, especially among Cuban men. Tourism, once a lifeline, now provides mixed results. While tourists bring money, many Cubans still struggle, relying on informal markets to survive. As one vendor put it, tourists think everything's fine, but they don't see the struggle behind the scenes. Foreign influence is growing, especially with new Russian businesses in places like Varadero. Upscale supermarkets cater to wealthier shoppers, but many locals can't afford these goods, and increased surveillance in Russian-owned stores has raised concerns. Despite these hardships, Cubans remain resilient, but the future remains uncertain. Their determination is strong, but how much longer they can endure is unclear. As Cuba grapples with its economic strain, the struggle for necessities has become a daily reality for many. Meanwhile, in the face of crumbling infrastructure, one crucial issue continues to persist, quietly worsening waste management. But what happens when the government's efforts are no longer enough to keep the streets clean, and residents are left to fend for themselves? Number 14. Waste management and infrastructure issues. In the year 2024, Cuba continues to face challenges in waste management, primarily due to resource shortages. The Cuban government is working to maintain regular garbage collection services, especially outside tourist areas, but financial constraints make it difficult to secure necessary trucks, fuel, and personnel. In more affluent, tourist-focused districts, waste management is generally more consistent, while some urban areas may experience more frequent disruptions. In response, some residents have developed informal systems to handle waste, though these efforts have their limits. This issue is part of a broader set of infrastructure challenges in Cuba, including aging buildings and inconsistent water supplies. Despite these difficulties, local communities continue to show resilience and adapt to their circumstances. This is just one example of Cuba's infrastructure struggles. But what happens when systems break down and people have to rely on their ingenuity? Number 13. Why leaving is so hard. In recent years, Havana has become a beacon of hope for many Cubans seeking better opportunities. Drawn by the city's vibrant streets and bustling tourism, people from other provinces arrive with dreams of finding work and improving their lives. However, settling into Havana presents unique challenges. Cuba's internal passport system requires specific permits to live in the capital, and without them, newcomers may face legal or financial difficulties. Many migrants navigate these obstacles while pursuing their goals, knowing they might be asked to return to their provinces at any time. Housing in Havana is another significant challenge. With the city already crowded, affordable homes are limited. Many families find themselves in cramped, older buildings, where conditions like leaking roofs and power outages make daily life difficult. Additionally, some migrants face bias, sometimes viewed with caution by locals. Employers may offer lower wages to those without legal documentation. Despite these challenges, many migrants remain determined to build a better future in Havana. Number 12. Modes of transportation in Cuba. In Cuba, traffic laws are strict and drivers are cautious. They usually stay under 70 miles per hour and avoid overtaking when there's oncoming traffic. At railway crossings, they stop and check both ways, even if the tracks seem clear. Drivers also stop briefly at intersections with a yellow triangle sign. Traffic police are common, and drivers must often show their documents. Highways are mostly filled with cars, while motorcycles are rare. In rural areas, horse-drawn carriages and bicycles are common. Hitchhiking is frequent, with drivers offering rides, especially those with blue government plates, as the law requires them to pick up hitchhikers. In Havana, refusing to give a ride can lead to fines. Public transportation is limited, causing crowded bus stops, but people wait patiently and board in order. Cubans approach daily life in a relaxed, unhurried way. If you want more behind-the-scenes glimpses of life in Cuba, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We've got a lot more to reveal about this fascinating island. Number 11. Cash only. Cash is king in Cuba. U.S. credit and debit cards are not accepted, so you must pay for everything in cash. Leave your dollars at home because the government imposes a 10% fee on this currency. While ATMs exist, transaction fees and high conversion rates make them costly. To ensure you have enough cash, exchange your money at the airport upon arrival. The exchange rates are the best and worth the wait. It's not just about cash, it's about the very currency itself. Stick around as we delve into the complexities of Cuba's multi-currency system. Number 10. Payment confusion. How can I pay you in Cuba? This common question highlights the island's complex payment system, which involves more than just cash or cards. Following the year 2021 unification of the Cuban peso and convertible peso, Cuba now uses 4 different currencies. While the goal was to streamline the economy and attract foreign investment, it has resulted in confusion and price distortions. Depending on where you are, whether in a restaurant, store, or for a service, you might need Cuban pesos, dollars, euros, or MLC. MLC is a virtual currency introduced in the year 2019, loaded onto a card with dollars, and only usable in state-run stores. It cannot be converted back into cash. Adding to the complexity, the Cuban peso has 2 official exchange rates, one for businesses and another for individuals. There is also an unofficial street rate, where $1 is exchanged for more pesos. Cuba's payment system reflects broader economic challenges. What do you think about Cuba's payment system? Share your thoughts below. Number 9. Cuban cigars, a symbol of tradition and luxury. Cuban cigars are famous for their craftsmanship and unique flavor, representing tradition and resilience. Despite Cuba's economic struggles, it remains a leading producer of premium cigars. What makes them special? The process involves over 500 hand-performed steps, from planting seeds in Pinar del Rio to curing, rolling, and aging the tobacco. This tradition began in the 1960s when Fidel Castro, impressed by Eduardo Rivera's cigars, set up a factory near Havana for Cuba's elite. Today, the Habanos brand, including Cohiba, Partagas, and Romeo y Julieta, exports to over 150 countries. These premium cigars can fetch thousands of dollars, making them out of reach for most Cubans, who earn around $30 a month. Still, Cuba remains at the heart of the cigar world. The annual Habanos Festival in Havana draws enthusiasts from across the globe to tour tobacco fields and learn the art of cigar making. But what's the true cost of this luxury? You might be surprised by what it takes to create a cigar that reflects Cuba's spirit. Number 8. The unseen forces in Cuban life. Cubans have strong spiritual beliefs, with Saint Lazarus being a highly revered figure. He is known for his healing miracles, often linked to stray dogs. On St. Lazarus's Day, December the 17th, people honor him by placing money near his statue, which is later used for offerings like wine, candles, and sweets. It's also customary for people with disabilities to place pictures of themselves at the statue as a sign of devotion. Other Cuban traditions include cutting a piece of string used to measure a deceased person's height and placing it in the casket for protection. Stepping on horse manure is considered good luck, and students sometimes freeze a teacher's name before exams for good fortune. Another popular custom is placing suitcases outside their homes on New Year's Eve, symbolizing a wish to travel abroad. The tradition is so common that on New Year's Day, many people can be seen walking the streets with suitcases, sometimes in small processions with drums. Number 7. Vintage cars, symbols of Cuba's past and present. In Cuba, Vintage cars symbolize the country's resilience, creativity, and history. Each province has a vintage car club focused on preserving iconic models, like the year 1905 Cadillac. Restorations are carefully overseen by Havana's Office of the Historian, with every repair requiring approval. There are over 400 classic cars under their care, and weekly parades in Havana showcase these treasures. Maintaining these cars is a labor of love. Since original parts are scarce, repairs often involve sourcing global components or handcrafting pieces. Many Cubans have become skilled mechanics, with some cars now running on modern engines from brands like Hyundai or Toyota. These cars are also vital to the economy. Owners can earn up to $60 a day renting them, with some making as much as $2,000 a month. Used as taxis or maquinas and cocos, they provide additional income while serving as a beloved part of Havana's daily life. But these old cars aren't just a relic of the past, they are part of the survival strategy. Find out how Cubans are turning these cars into critical assets. Number 6. Vintage car repair requires permission. Every province in Cuba has a vintage car club dedicated to preserving classic cars, including a Cadillac from 1905, a national treasure. Managed by Havana's History Office, these clubs maintain over 400 cars with strict repair standards. Parades in Havana every Sunday showcase these vintage vehicles. Joining a club requires official permission for repairs or parts replacement, and finding parts is challenging since no manufacturers produce them anymore. Owning a car in Cuba often means becoming a mechanic, as cars are valuable assets that require significant investment to maintain. Curious about what life in Cuba is really like beyond the beaches and vintage cars? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an eye-opening video. Number 5. The law of Fidel Castro's name is the legacy fading? Did you know that in the year 2016, the Cuban National Assembly passed a surprising law? This law bans the use of Fidel Castro's name for naming public buildings or erecting memorials to this iconic leader of the Cuban Revolution. Honoring his wish to avoid a cult of personality, the Havana government now prohibits using Fidel Castro's name for organizations, squares, parks, boulevards, streets, and other public places, as well as for any type of medals, honors, or prestigious titles. But that's not all. This law also forbids the creation of memorials, statues, or commemorative signs using Fidel Castro's image in public places. Despite these restrictions, artists are allowed to use Castro's image and name in their works, including literature, music, dance, and art. Additionally, the use of images related to his revolutionary career at public events is not restricted. What do you think about this law? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned for more shocking revelations about Cuba that they never want you to know. Number 4. Selling Coca-Cola used to be illegal. Do you enjoy sipping on Coca-Cola? In Cuba, this iconic beverage isn't as widely available as in many other countries. Along with North Korea, Cuba was one of 2 nations where Coca-Cola was not officially sold for nearly 60 years, with the situation changing in the year 2015. Instead, a popular local soft drink called Tu-Cola is commonly found in cans and plastic bottles. Occasionally, Coca-Cola imported from Mexico can be found in some stores, though it is often sold at a higher price. Interestingly, while bottled water can sometimes be hard to find in Cuba, rum is widely available in city stores. Number 3. Christmas is also banned. Did you know that Christmas was not officially celebrated in Cuba for several decades after the revolution? To focus on new national priorities, the government replaced religious festivals with political activities and other values. Christmas celebrations were moved to July, and December 25th became a regular working day. It wasn't until the year 1998, after a visit from Pope John Paul II, that Christmas was reinstated as a public holiday in Cuba. Today, despite some changes over the years, people in Cuba can once again celebrate Christmas. Number 2. Fully government-funded education. Education in Cuba is free and compulsory, reflecting the country's commitment to accessibility, much like its healthcare system. Around 30% of the national budget goes to education, while 53% is allocated to healthcare, showing their priority in these sectors. The motto, "If you know, teach. If you don't know, learn," emphasizes lifelong learning and knowledge sharing. Education is fully funded by the government, ensuring no cost to students, and includes free school lunches for children ages 6 to 15. In elementary school, children learn basic language, math, and the arts. Middle school focuses on general knowledge and practical skills for the future. After 9th grade, students can choose between university or vocational training. These policies helped reduce illiteracy from nearly 30% to just 0.2%. According to UNESCO, Cuban students consistently perform well compared to other Latin American countries, reflecting the country's strong focus on intellectual development. Education might be free, but Cuba's real success story lies in its healthcare system. How has a country with so few resources managed to become a global leader in public health? Number 1. Developed health system. Cuba is known for its public health system, which has gained attention internationally despite the country's limited resources. The government allocates a significant portion of its budget to healthcare, and the World Health Organization has recognized its efforts, particularly in addressing infectious diseases. Cuba has made notable public health advancements, including the development of a meningitis B vaccine in 1980 and a lung cancer vaccine more recently. The country also reports high childhood vaccination coverage. In 2015, Cuba became the first country recognized by the World Health Organization for eliminating mother-to-child HIV transmission. Through universal healthcare and vaccination programs, Cuba has made progress in reducing the spread of diseases like polio, rubella, and tuberculosis. With free healthcare and no private hospitals, Cuba has seen improvements in life expectancy and ranks highly in both regional and global comparisons. If you found today's video interesting, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support is very important to us. Be sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen. You're sure to love the content we bring. Please leave a comment about which country you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for watching and see you in the latest video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.